Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Caldwell, Burleson County, Texas will convene in a regular meeting at the City Hall, 107 South Hill Street, Caldwell, Texas. Regular meeting place thereof at 5:30 p.m., April 16th, 2024. A quorum is present, so we will proceed. Invocation and pledge tonight will be led by Councilman Kevin Yoga.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, for your many blessings. We thank you for the city of Caldwell. As we meet to discuss the plans and future for Caldwell, Lord, give us great wisdom, very great wisdom and great discernment, Lord, that our decisions may be pleasing and honoring to you, but to also be in the best interest of the citizens that live here. Thank you for our first responders. We thank you for this great country we live in. We pray for those that are in harm's way right now, whether through war or just in the things that are happening around the globe. Lord, just bless our military, keep them safe. All those loved ones that are home, Lord, comfort them and be with them. Thank you again for this evening and pray blessings on tonight. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge to the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Hey, welcome to any visitors we have tonight. And the first item is citizens to be heard on city-related topics. And we have Mr. Saul Padilla.
Good evening, my name is Saul Padilla. I am a resident of the city of Caldwell, Texas. I've been living in Caldwell for 5 years and 7 months. I am a U.S. citizen. I'm not an illegal alien. I have concerns about the two approaches that the police department in Texas here have made with me. The first one was on February 21st this year. Because I am diabetic, I walk every day, and anyway, there was this incident with this dog. The dog tried to bite me many times in the past. This time the dogs come to me. I tried to scare the dog. I walk into the cemetery, and then the owner of the lady, she cut me out and called the police. The police come, talked to me. As my ID, I presented my ID to him. He went back. Like 15 minutes later, he came and gave me this warrant. They call the criminal trespass warning. I think the police was unfair doing this to me because I just was trying to scare the dog. Then he told me if I have another complaint from this lady, I will come and arrest you. I think they have no right to say that he will arrest me because there was no serious incident with the dog. I believe that he considers that the presence or existence of the dog is more valuable than me. I am a human being. I think when he gave me this, he was biased because he told me he was trying to scare it to me, I will come and arrest you. The second incident happens on March 29 between 5 and 5:30 and 6 p.m. on O'Neill Street. I was on my way walking. The same police officer, somebody else, a corporal surgeon, he stopped me. He says I was, how would I say, I did my description, the way I was dressing, it was the one who somebody called around the Woodson Hospital, and somebody was walking, that was the complaint, maybe he's trying to steal. And I said, it's not me, I just lived there because it was very close to my apartment. Then they were so focused on arrest me. And I said, it's not me, I'm innocent. And then there was two, my neighbors, Vicky Gonzalez and Bernardo Gonzalez. They spoke in my behalf. But the sergeant or corporal was so eager to arrest me. He said, do you want me to handcuff you? Handcuff you, you will talk in the car, inside the car. I said, they have no warrant arrest for me. I told them I am innocent. I live right there. And he was, look, if I resist arrest, I will be handcuffed, beat up. If I run away because I'm scared, they will shoot me in the back. because that's what happened in the United States. This is my concern. I don't know what to do. I just expressing to you my concern. I'm not a homeless. When I walk on the street, I look like a homeless, but I'm not homeless. I never been arrested in my life. I am 71 years old. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of the city of Caldwell, I appreciate you and thank you for your concerns. Next, consent agenda. This consists of minutes from the last meeting and additional considerations.
Move for approval.
Do you have a motion to accept the items on the, I'm sorry, do we have a second?
Second.
Do I need to read the fair housing thing or no, just adopt? Okay. All in favor of accepting the items on the consent agenda, raise your right hand. None opposed, motion passes. Next, regular agenda items. Multiple variance requests for the proposed West Southgate subdivision, parcel ID number 10680, concept plan pertaining to lot sizes, setbacks, and pavement width.
So, Mayor and Council, as you recall, last month, the applicant was not present, and therefore it'll postpone this item. And so, tonight, you are actually going to get to deny this item because the applicant decided that he's going to wait on this project and proceed with his infill development projects that he's already working on. So, because it was an item that got postponed, we felt that the action needed to be taken on this item, so that way we clear it off of the agenda for future, because we don't know when they're gonna come back to re-present this to you all. So, all you need to do is make a motion to deny it.
But really, they really asked for us to postpone because they weren't gonna be able to make it. And they asked to.
Yeah, and then they asked to basically take it away because they're gonna wait and do the other project.
Would it be better to table it? Because tabling, you can bring it back up at any time.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be the exact same request. It might be a
Okay,
different
that makes sense,
request.
okay. That's fair. I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of denying the multiple variance requests for proposed West Southgate Division parcel ID number 10680, raise your right hand. None opposed, motion passes. Next, awarding a $600,000 time warrant for capital improvement projects and equipment and any processed documents required hereto.
Okay, so we came to council last month before, asking for permission to go out for this. The rates that we have, I think y'all have them in front of you. Citizen State Bank came back with 5.125% of the rate, and Prosperity is 5.79. So staff would recommend that we issue the debt through Citizen State Bank. So I think
Move we accept the bid from Citizen State Bank for our time warrant.
All in favor of awarding a $600,000 time warrant for capital improvement projects and equipment and any processed documents required hereto, the Citizen State Bank, raise your right hand. None opposed, motion passes. Next, ordinance number 041624A, repealing Article 8.02 minors, a curfew for minors under 17 years of age, and repealing any enforcement procedure or criminal penalties related thereto of the City of Caldwell Code of Ordinances.
Okay, this ordinance is brought to you by House Bill 1819 that prohibits any city or county from enforcing any curfew laws that we have in place.
So
We
you can
don't,
just roam the street all hours of the day and night.
we don't have any. Do we?
Yes, we do.
Do you have a curfew?
we have a
Yes, sir.
curfew on the books, so it's just clearing up now that the
We had an ordinance brought back in 2008 for curfew.
I'll make a motion to for this
ordinance.
The ordinance.
So what's the proper motion to approve this?
Yes.
The repeal of the curfew.
So you wanted to approve the ordinance?
To repeal.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have a motion? I'm sorry. All in favor of approving the ordinance to repeal Article 8.02, the curfew for minors under age 17? Raise your right hand. None opposed, motion passes. Advanced metering infrastructure proposal from Aqua Metric Sales Company for electric and water metering system.
So I'm gonna kick this off, and then we've got some representatives here from Optometric. But this is in response to the RFP that we went out for AMI. What we did is we kind of had several meetings with different groups. We had met with 3 or 4 different groups. Came in kind of informal RFP, kind of worked through. Everybody came in and presented the product that they were offering, so it allowed us as staff to learn a lot more and to make a proper decision on this. And the reason we kind of kept it informal, each one of the companies that presented for us was on some sort of buy board. Now, what you have in front of you is from an HGAC buy board. So they've already done the competitive purchasing requirement for us. So with that, we'll let Justin Hamilton with Aquametric kind of take over, and he's got a quick presentation, and he'll figure he'd be better to answer questions than what I would, so.
Thanks, Gary. Mayor, Council, thank you all for having us. My name is Justin Hamilton. I'm the manager of strategic sales for Aquametric. I live in College Station. We also have Craig Collins here from Census, represents the manufacturer. He is in the big city of Rockville, Texas, so we got you guys kind of surrounded. We'll talk a little bit about what we talked to the staff about in several meetings we've had. I'm going to try to take too much time up. You can skip ahead. Give a little bit of brief overview of who we are as Aquametric. We've been in business for over 30 years now. We cover Texas, California, and Louisiana. Our main office here in Texas is in Selma, just north of San Antonio. We have a 15,000 square foot warehouse where we stock all of our product there. We are a turnkey installer, so we prime projects as large as $76 million with the city of Fort Worth. We changed out all meters and radios, all 250,000 plus for them. So we've got lots of bonding capacity. We're very experienced doing turnkey projects for water, gas, and electric meter systems. We're still a fairly small company, we have 45 employees total, so it gives us the ability to be pretty flexible. If we need something, we can get the hold of the CEO, president of our company on text, and we can get things resolved pretty quickly. One of the ways we do projects is we operate on the one neck to choke, one back to path philosophy. So it's our crews that are designing the system, putting in the network, installing the meters, doing the integration to your billing system, and providing the support for the full 20 years after the project. So we hope you like us because we're the same people. We're going to be here for the long term. You can go ahead one forward. Just a quick look at some of the references we have here. This is by no means all of them, but we have more combo utilities using the Census FlexNet system than anybody else in Texas. Just around you guys, Brenham, Belleville, Bastrop all use our FlexNet utility system. Fredericksburg is another water electric system that's a very similar system to what you guys have. So again, we have given the reference list to the staff for them to make any kind of phone calls, set up site visits. The oldest system we have here in Texas was put in 2008. So this is by no means a guinea pig system. It's very proven out throughout the state. Go ahead. So the reason it's been so successful, it is very simple. So the water and electric meters will be at each individual residence connected to a radio. Every hour, that meter is going to take a reading. Every 4 hours, the radio is going to transmit that in to an antenna that we have on each of your base stations. Each of your water towers. So on 2 collection points, it's a point-to-multi-point system. So each radio speaks directly to the tower. We have redundancy built in throughout the system, so we save hourly readings in the meters themselves. We save hourly readings in the radios. We save hourly readings in the base station, and 3 years of hourly readings in the software system. So we'll have hourly readings coming in from all the meters that we're storing. You guys will be able to take action on that as you see. I'll get into a couple slides here in a second, but one of the biggest reasons cities have moved to this AMI network is the difference between getting one read every 30 days and getting hourly reads. It gives the utilities the ability to be proactive instead of reactive. If it was in my house and we're collecting one read every 30 days, if I have a leak in my house that happens the day after you read the meter, we're not going to know about it until the next time you go by and read, which could be 30 days. By the time I get the bill, we're looking at 45 days. Where with an hourly system, we have customers that are looking at their reports daily and are contacting customers saying, hey, we're seeing that there's continuous usage for the last 24 hours. Can you check the toilets in your house? Can we see if there's a valve that's turned on? Somebody leave a water hose running. So this system gives your staff the ability to have the information to make actionable decisions in a proactive manner.
A lot of times, you'll see, the city of Bryan will see it in hours. In 3 hours, our office, water line busted. And no one was there on Saturday. We went to open up and go back. Parking lot's flooded.
The city of Bryan also uses Flexion. Their customer runs. Yeah.
No rabbits. We expect them also.
Is it color coded warnings? Like yellow or red is possibility that water was left on, like you said, a water hose, or yellow, it's different than what it has been? Or?
No, it would just be a different report. So
Okay.
your staff would have the ability to run a report that says, give me every meter that's showing continuous usage, or give me we'll have an alarm report. So the alarms will show up in all different categories.
Right.
We can automate those, so staff can have that first thing in the morning. You can have it already pre-populated on your system. Here's all the customers that had alarms. Maybe not all of them are actionable. Maybe some of them are people building a swimming pool or something like that, but it's better to know what's going on than be guessing. Mm-hmm. What you're looking in front of you is a propagation study. So we actually took the meter addresses here in Caldwell, plotted them on a map, and then took the locations of your 2 elevated storage tanks. That's where we would put the antennas. Everything you see in green is fully covered, 2-way system. So we should have no coverage issues anywhere here in Caldwell. This propagation study is guaranteed. So if we put the system out there and we're not getting the results that we expect, which is 98.5% of your readings over a 4-day period, it's on us to provide the additional infrastructure. We're not going to change order you guys and say, we think we can cover it with 2, and then 2 becomes 4, and 4 becomes 6. Since it's guaranteed that we're going to cover all of Caldwell with 2, if it needs more than that, it's on us. A little bit of warranty information. We do have the longest warranty on the market for our meters and radios. So it's a full 15-year warranty on all meters and radios, and then 5 years prorated on the battery. That goes for all of the residential meters we sell. Some of the meters on this slide are not applicable to what you guys are doing in Caldwell, but it shows the warranty for everything. The biggest thing, again, is 15 years full and 5 years prorated. Industry standards 10 and 10. So you get an extra 5 years of warranty at a census. And this is a little screenshot of what your customer service reps would see in the field. This is called Census Analytics. This takes the hourly data we're getting in from the field and this is what your utility staff would be looking at. That screenshot on the bottom left is what it would look like if somebody has a spike in usage. So if they had a sprinkler system come on in the middle of the night, that's what it would look like, kind of on the bottom left there. The one on the bottom right is what a leak would look like. You can see those bar graphs never get to 0 at any point until the leak gets fixed, and then it looks like normal usage after that. So if your citizens are calling saying, hey, I don't know why my bill is so high, we have the ability to pull up an hourly graph. We can show exactly when sprinkler systems came on, when water was used, how long it was used. So again, we're providing actionable intelligence for your end users. This little tool called Meter Insight, this gives an overall system health. So your staff will have the ability to say, this is a screenshot we pulled from another utility. This customer had 6,300 active meters. They had one is almost stale, which we're saying stale means we have not heard from that meter in 2 days. We should be hearing from it every 4 hours. Why are we not hearing? Did somebody park a truck over it? Did something happen to it? Did it get damaged? But before we go out and need a reading from it, we can be proactive and go out and look at that resident and see why are we not hearing from this reading. So I won't go through all the squares, but this does give a kind of a overall system health that your staff can be looking at on a daily basis. And this is the customer portal. So your end users will have the ability to create their own account. They can set up their own alerts. The VX Smart Portal also will give them suggestions on ways they can conserve water. This can be accessed through the website. It's not a standalone app. It's a website that you just kind of save as your favorites. But it will allow your your end users to set their own alerts and alarms. So they can set, if they're going out of town for a certain number of days, they can go into the app or the portal, and say, hey, I'm going to be out of town for these 3 days. Send me a text message if my water bill goes over 10 gallons. So they'll know what's going on. Finally, this is kind of the last slide we have. Just all the advantages we have as Aquametric. We do have an in-house in-state technical team, so we have our own employees who their entire role is to make sure that our customers' systems are healthy. We as Aquametric don't sell pipe and supplies and other water. We only do metering systems. So it's our entire business model to make sure these systems work and work effectively. We have our own installation crew. We have the most reliable network on the market. It uses a primary license frequency. So Centus actually owns the spectrum that we're operating on, and we lease that to the city of Caldwell. So you alone as the city of Caldwell will be able to operate on this FCC license frequency. We're essentially building you your own proprietary cell phone network that you alone can operate. So we don't have to worry about it, outside interference, coverage issues, anything like that. At the end of the day, the way we built our business is focused on long-term partnerships. Again, it's the same people that we've had multiple meetings with staff going back several years now. We've designed the network. Our crews be the ones selling. We're also the ones supporting it for the next 20 years. So we're here for the long term. So be happy to, I know there's a lot of information in a very short amount of time. Be happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
You have 45 people employed.
Yes,
So you're using contractors to install, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
We use the same subs
you
for
did
all of our
work
projects.
with 45
Right.
employees.
Now that's just the Aquametric employees. When we do the actual labor, we sub that out, but we use the same subs for all of our projects. So they only work on our system.
Is there a capacity limit on how many meters we have on this system?
Each base station will hold up to, I think it's 30,000. More?
Yeah, we're looking about probably 45,000.
Yeah, so unless you guys are going to expand way beyond what you have now, I think we'll be okay.
And as he mentioned, Fort Worth is their largest currently deployed at right at 300,000. City of Houston is currently being deployed that within the next 3 years will be over 500,000 meters under the census wetland network.
Is this just for water?
It's for electric also.
Okay.
So Census also makes the electric meters. So we manufacture the water meters, the electric meters, the network, everything.
As you said, we've actually, I forget, we have been meeting for a couple of years. We've been trying to get this going. In our last meeting, we kind of talked about deployment. So the electric meters are a lot harder to get nowadays than what the water meters are. So we would look to deploy those water meters first, and then come back, and when we get the electric, we would go back in with those. But just the water meter alone, to go and read those, I don't know if you've ever seen our meter readers out there digging water out and dealing with all kind of stuff. Yeah, everything. I mean, it'll be very beneficial. I think another thing that we look at here before we talk is, more about the money and how we want to pay for it. The majority of our water meters, correct me if I'm wrong, are probably about 25 years old. So they start to lose accuracy pretty quick after 10 years.
Yeah, the EWW warranty on it is, once it passes 750,000 gallons, it's considered repair meter status. So we can be reading at 90% and still be considered accurate.
So I get what I'm saying is we would see additional revenue from having all of our water accounted for, and that also helps us when we're talking about water loss. I think at the same time, some of the charts that he showed, as far as seeing continuous water use, is going to be very beneficial to Jeff's group, because right now I don't know how many calls a day we run on that show water leak, and it's on the customer side. So this would help us see those and reduce our truck rolls. Good.
Well, I know you just said electric meters are hard to come by. Would it be something that we could look into as far as putting electric meters as we build new homes and subdivisions to start off with, since it would be done at that time, not having to go back?
You'll explain the process.
Yeah, the biggest issue with electric meters is we can't stop them. Each electric meter is made individually for each utility. So on the front end, we have to go through what we call a first article process. So they'll get a sample meter sent here. We'll make sure that all the tags are exactly how you want it, that you're reading the way you want it. All the parameters are set specifically for the city of Caldwell. That process takes a few weeks, probably 6 to 8 weeks, to go through. We get that sent back to Census, then they approve the order, and then from there we go into the manufacturer process. And as you guys know, for anything electronic, specifically electric meters, anything electric related right now is out there. It just takes a long time to get the product. So in an ideal world, yes. The way we sit today, no, it's probably not the way it's going to happen.
Okay.
On the water meters, how does the battery run? I'm just asking.
It's a lithium-ion battery that's built into the register. So the battery actually powers the meter itself. The meter is an electromagnetic static meter, so there's no moving parts to wear down over time. So we generate a magnetic field through the flow tube, and then we also power the battery up the register.
It basically, it's supposed to recharge itself because of the flow.
It doesn't recharge itself, but it's only on for essentially microseconds at a time. That's how they get the 20-year life expectancy. Because we're really only sending, when the radio is only sending a microsecond transmission every 4 hours. So it's a very minuscule power draw from that. The meter itself is doing a little bit more work than that, but they still try to keep it low power.
If a project like that was to go through, what would be the time it would take to do the
So it typically takes us about 3 months to get the network stood up, to install the antennas and base stations at your elevated storage tanks, and also integrate with Encode, which is your current CIS, your billing system vendor. So we need to get that done first, make sure all the plumbing, all the data is going where we need it to be. We would order water meters on the front end, or actually all the meters on the front end, but water would come in first. And then from there, for roughly 2,000 meters, we're projecting, what's it, 4 months? Is that what I said? I think so.
Wow.
From the time we get the network stood up after that. So electric meter is a little bit different because it's going to vary on when we can get them. The water network should be fairly quickly.
Wow. So there were a few meters you had to go back to that chart.
The warranty chart?
No, is that what the warranty,
Yes,
one? So it was 98 point something.
That's for the read percentage, yeah. That's for the
Right.
network.
So what about the other 2% or whatever is not reading? How do you?
So the way they figure that percentage is there's always going to be a certain amount of your meters that aren't going to read every 4 hours. It's typically a 0.5% to 1%. And it could be anything from, like I mentioned earlier, somebody has a truck parked over the meter box lid, or we just miss a transmission. The way the system's designed is the next time we connect to that radio, it's going to backfill the data that we missed. So the radio sends the readings from the current hour and the 3 previous hours, as well as 2 to 7 days worth of backfill data, so that whenever we reconnect, we don't miss anything if we miss a transmission. The 1.5% variance on the network is to cover for those that just may not have come in during that 4 hour period. It doesn't mean we're not going to get a reading from it. It's just been in that one transmission window we might miss something.
Go back to that, where the city, on the middle, that one, yes. So what is okay, so I know most of our, but there's a little part down like at the park that doesn't, right there, is that, and there's some meters in that, is that covered? Or what, tell me the difference.
From this far away, but
Gotcha.
Yes.
it should be two-way coverage.
That's two-way coverage. Yeah.
The difference in,
Yeah.
so the dark green area is what we call ally coverage. There's a meter that Census has called ally, has a remote disconnect valve. We don't have it proposed as of right now as the primary meter for this project, but we do have one that does remote disconnect. The remote disconnect meter for residential services requires more RF coverage because worst case scenario is we turn the valve off and then we can't connect back to it to turn the valve back on, right? So we need more RF to operate that valve. So even if we're not going to use that, we run the propagation study as if we were going to use that meter because we know that's that's the strongest RF coverage we have. So everywhere in the dark green area on that map is the highest level of RF coverage we need. That's ally coverage. Okay. The light green is two-way coverage. So we're still reading and connecting to the meter. We can speak down to the individual register. We have no issue with coverage. It's just not Ally rated coverage. Okay. Everywhere out to the blue areas, we're still getting coverage.
This is not a shut off at all. Can the city shut off water through this meter?
We have a meter that can. It's not the primary meter that we
Okay.
put in this
Okay.
project. Most cities are not going all out with that meter. What they're doing is most cities have a handful of accounts where they have to go out every single month, whether it's, I live in College Station, so it's students moving in and out, or it's people that's, for whatever reason, it's the same people on the cutoff list every single month. Those are the ones where they're getting the Ally meter, because it's just saving truck rolls every time they have to go back and forth. The majority of the residents and most of my customers are not, it's kind of a specialty application. It's not an across the board solution.
Yeah, I mean, we've already applied for a grant with this, right?
Yes.
Close up Savannah,
Yes.
300,000.
I haven't heard back on that.
Okay.
The electric meters that you'll have spec'd in here, are those gonna be capable of shut off?
I believe we did all road disconnect on those.
So normally if we do a cutoff for non-payment, we'll cut the electricity because it's just too hard to do the water every time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we've got everything right in here, we can do that remotely on the electric side.
You mentioned earlier that it takes, to get one meter and to put it in actual working in on electric I'm talking about. And you said it would take 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. Would it not be advantageous for us to get all that, something, I'm not saying start off with, but I'm just saying for us to have that, all that information, you have that information when we decide to go?
We can certainly start that process.
Yeah,
The thing that kicks off that from the census standpoint is more. And so without having a PO from this, that's what kicks off the first article process. I mean, we can definitely start that. When we do a combo project like we did in LaGrange, that's the first step. The very first thing we do is start the first article process because we know how much time it takes to get that done.
Okay. I mean, we're doing that with our wastewater and everything else. And Camden's been given authority to start all that stuff because it takes time.
Right.
And we'll have it in place when needed. So I was just curious if that wouldn't be something that we could look at, because you said the tags and everything else. So
it's definitely something we can.
Okay.
Again, the thing about electric meters is you can't return them, right?
Okay.
We can't resell them anymore. Every meter is made specific for that utility that's going to be. So that's why we go through that first article process. So, but we could definitely start that.
How many different companies? We have Blue Bonnet.
Right.
Yeah.
Blue Bonnet, BG,
Yeah. So, yeah, I understand.
I would be, I don't know the answer. I can look it up. I'm more the water guy, so I don't know, especially on the heavy or commercial stuff on the electric side.
Well, we don't have any pump jacks in our electric system, but I remember this, that, pump jacks cut off now in the electric. Way to go the other way is to generate electricity back to the motor, put back online, taking all the electric.
Okay.
Be able to do the whole, cell box.
So you don't have
Net
buyback.
metering.
Yeah, I know we do. We have customers that have that work with solar standpoint, also customers that have solar panels and like that. Okay. Do, like Craig said, we call it net metering.
And this price on this bid is for both water and electric?
Yeah, so we'll talk about the price.
Okay.
So 1.786 is what we've looked at on this. Like you mentioned, we have applied for that $300,000 from Post Oak Savannah. I'm not sure when we'll hear on that. Also, I think in the next packet here, we've done a little bit of preliminary work with Government Capital as a financing structure for this. So there's a couple of different options on there. We did 1.8 million. So if the council decides that y'all want to move forward with this, I do expect some fluctuation in the bid as we go through and we really look at each meter that we're gonna need, and, maybe we decided not to exceed 1.8 million. So that's the reason that we use this number. But we looked at 7 years, 10 years, and 15 years out. I don't know that I want to go anywhere past 10. on this project, but I mean, you can see the annual payment amounts at those respective terms. If we get that grant, we're down to 1.5, and then we could also utilize some cash on hand if we wanted to do that as well. I'm open to however, but one of the things that we look at as we move forward with this project is your, I hate to say increased revenues, but more accurate revenues, right? We're not increasing rates, but we're getting an accurate picture of what's actually flowing through that meter. And then, we'll save on the employee side too, as far as truck rolls and truck maintenance and just about everything. So I think the goal here would be to be able to make up a lot of this money as we go. So most of these terms wouldn't start, your first payment wouldn't start until a year from whenever we take a loan out. So hopefully we can generate the additional revenue. We're really not out a whole lot of cash.
Well, it's a win-win for the residents and the city.
This is one of the few projects the city can do that will actually pay for itself.
Yeah.
Why is there a delivery date of 12/20/25 on the bid? Down at the very bottom.
This when we completely finish it.
Okay.
With the electric meter. Yeah.
I think we just had to put a date in there for the HGAC purposes.
Okay. And then on the financing, is there any early payment penalties or prepayment penalties?
There's not. And I asked them, we just haven't gotten back, just some different figures on that. If we were to finance, 1.5 or 1.3 or just $1 million.
Right.
What do those figures look like? And we haven't gotten those back yet. So I don't know how the comfort level that y'all are feeling with this right now. If we pick this up at another meeting, as far as the financing part, I mean, I think the project itself is going to be really good.
Yeah. Usually you can do it in 4 months.
So for the labor side, yeah, you guys don't have that many meters, so.
I know.
And it's all pretty, the thing that gets us a little bit longer, if they were all spread out all over, like Fort Worth is 400 square miles. You guys are pretty much fairly compact.
I can't wait to see the crews start playing.
The electrical meters, like I said, in new subdivision, once they're all installed, will we be able to order some use on hand as we need them, or?
Yes, yes.
So for new construction, do y'all come out and do that, or do we do it as a city once?
Once the project is complete,
right,
we will handle the new meter install from there. If we have 4 or 5 of them or something like that, just as subdivisions come along. Right. I believe we discussed, let's say we have a mass subdivision and, it's something that we could contract with them for. Okay. If we were going to put in 100, 200 meters at a time. But just 2 or 3 here or there, I think we can handle. There'll be training for our staff as far as that goes, as far as the installation and the setup of the additional meters. It make it sound pretty easy, but
once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. I mean, it's just a matter, the meter is set like any other normal meter, that we connect to the radio with a handheld unit, and then that's how it connects to the base station. So it takes a couple of minutes, for the radio to connect. Each meter installation should take about 15 to 20 minutes on the water side.
So are we gonna do this now, or are we gonna wait?
it's up to y'all. I would like to see some different finance looks on it. I'd like to see if we, what we can manage a payment at if we, add a little cash here, if we get this grant, really where that needs to be. I'm not sure if y'all want to act on it, what kind of motion you can make to give me that flexibility, or if I'd rather.
If we approve it tonight, when's the first payment going to be? I mean, because it's going to take some time for y'all to do. I mean, is it all 1.7 million due up front, or is it?
No, it's kind of two separate things because the financing isn't through us.
No. But what I'm saying is, y'all's bill is 1.8 million, but it's going to take y'all 2 to 3 months to get things going, so I mean, do we pay all 1.8?
Yeah,
Do
we fund
tomorrow,
the PO
No, no, I mean, we would, on initial, we would order the 2 base stations, all the metering products, so we get that on order. In the first year of annual fees. We don't bill any of the labor for the installation until it's done. We don't actually invoice anything until the product is delivered. So there's no, I mean, we'll take an order, but nothing gets invoiced until the product is actually on site here in Caldwell.
And how long is that?
For what?
What I'm asking is, do we have time to talk, if we approve this tonight so we can go forward, will we have time to talk about financing?
Yeah, there would be any kind of billing or anything for Aquametric for several months.
Okay.
Is this 2 separate deals?
No, I see it as one.
One, okay, that's what.
I don't know if we can separate it, kind of defer to you. I mean, if you're approving the project,
Well, we're gonna prove, yeah, we'll have to come up with the money, but we have money in the bank too, that we don't get financing that we want.
let's see, can they approve the
The
project?
proposal is for
And ask me to bring-
Aquametric Sales Company and not for the
Not for the finance.
financing.
That's what.
So if a motion was made to approve, what is it?
The events metering through
Right.
Aquametric, and
And
then we
for
could later do.
city administrator to bring back financing details at a later meeting?
And that's your call.
Well, I'll bring it back to you.
Yeah.
I don't have the authority.
No, I meant your call on which way, if we can divide it. And that way leaves you what you're supposed to do anyway, so and bring it back to us. So.
Because I'm for the project.
Oh.
I think it's needed. I think it's a wonderful, like with everything you said, and I think it's something that will definitely, be beneficial as far as moving the city forward and into the future. So I'm for the project. I'm not worried about finding the finance. We'll find the finance.
Well, I mean, we can push the finance. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the, you push it to 10 years instead of 5 or what.
Right, exactly, right.
So I think,
I just want to analyze the financing, put us in the best spot to
Sure.
move forward.
well, we can,
Yeah, I could do that as long as.
Yeah. I think we need to approve Aquametric.
Ready for wording. Did y'all have any more questions for?
I would like to approve the Aquametric contract.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the advanced metering infrastructure proposal from Aquametric Sales Company for water metering system at this time? Water and electric. Raise your right hand. None opposed, motion passes.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
So piggybacking on that, financial advisory agreement between the city of Caldwell and Cross Bank for professional services for upcoming CIP. So is that just authorizing you to seek?
So there's the financial advisory agreement between the city and Cross Bank is just so they can advise us. This is more of a compliance type document. This is non-binding. If we decide we get down the road and we don't like the way that they're handling it, then, we move on and do something with somebody else. Payment for their services is not until we were to actually go forward and complete a bond package. When it's actually funded, that's when payment for these services would be. So, we've talked about this several times, so this is kind of like one of the steps in the road to get us a little bit further down in the large capital improvement projects that we need to do. I need to go to my calendar tomorrow. We've got a revised wastewater master plan that was delivered to us last week. Jeffrey and I'll review it tomorrow, and then I really want to come back and put a solid package in front of council when we start moving down that road. So this is just so we can start having some more open conversations, legal conversations with Frost Bank as our financial advisor.
This thing grew from August to last year.
Yes, okay. So we're not, in other words, I'm not ready to roll out a big package yet. I think we'll figure it out over the next few weeks to months and then start putting this together.
I move we enter into a financial advisory agreement with Frost Bank.
Wait a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor of entering into a financial advisory agreement between City of Caldwell and Frost Bank for professional services for upcoming capital improvement projects, raise your right hand. None opposed, motion passes. Next, department and community reports. If there's any discussion to be had or questions concerning these reports? On the code enforcement report, there were lots of them. Are citizens reporting those, or are our city employees seeing it and then reporting it?
I think the majority of it's city employees.
City employees seeing it? Okay,
So
Great.
because it was a lot.
Benji has her eyes open all over.
Okay, because it was a lot this time. And like the overgrown grass and so,
Well, that's that time of year too.
right. Mhm. Any questions, comments about the department and community reports? If not, we will move on to administrative and elected officials reports. Mhm.
All right. I did want to put this in front of y'all. I met with Atmos last week. Mr. Enrique may have to help me out with the terminology here, but they are increasing gas capacity coming in here. They're upgrading, I think, to an 8-inch line that's going to push towards the industrial park. So they are going to need an easement and access to what do they call it? It's basically a station that takes
It's a
the,
DSU station. It's a station that's going to bring gas, but actually what they're going to do is it's going to come above the station at where the vet clinic and on 2000, and they'll tap off the main and get that pressure there rather than get it from in town. So they'll have that 8-inch line coming from there, and they're going to be line from all the way to from Cook's Point back this way.
okay. And then, so this station basically takes it from about 90 pounds of pressure down to 30-ish, is that right?
Yep, they're on that, they're ready to build in that now.
So this is definitely a much needed project for Caldwell. This will help give us capacity at the industrial park and then on the west side of town. So I would expect in the next month or so to bring that back. We asked them to stake out that area because I wanted to make sure that we were far enough away from our power lines over there. And then Jeffrey and I need to look to see where it is in relation to our water line that we've got. But definitely excited to hear about that project. It's good stuff. Last week, on the airport project, we attended a project implementation meeting. Drove over to Austin, sat down with TechStop, kind of walked through everything. That seems to be a very simple process. TechStop's going to handle the majority of it for us, and I'm really excited about that. We'll have to come up with, basically it's a RFQ process in order to find a consultant that we want to use to do engineering work. So I think that group's going to include Gordon Richardson. He knows a lot about the airport. Thomas Trinka and myself, and we'll TxDOT will actually push out for all the engineering consultant requirements. They'll get the RFQs back, and then they'll pass them along to us to take a look at it as long as they meet the TxDOT requirements. On the Truist Building, or soon-to-be City Hall, I understand we're waiting on some materials, waiting on some doors for that to resume. Hopefully that's pretty quickly. ERCOT project still moving forward. We're working with some of the parties that have intervened and kind of seeing if we can work through some issues up front instead of going to a hearing. And then I wanted to talk to y'all, see what your thoughts are on having a workshop coming up pretty soon. I would like to kind of get some council goals for the next budget year, because I'm gonna start working on budget really soon. And that way we kind of all on the same page. I can make sure I capture exactly what y'all are looking for the next year. We can continue to discuss the CIP projects and anything else that we may need to have. I don't know if next week is good.
Yeah, we can go to the phone. What time?
That's up to y'all.
See, now you're pushing back on me.
Thursday.
So Thursday's not good.
Thursday's in
I'm not Tuesday.
Okay.
Wednesday's fine.
I'm open Wednesday.
Wednesday, the 24th,
Or we can push it to the last week. Y'all don't have a calendar.
the 30th.
The 30th, if that works better. Give us a little bit of a break.
Better for me. I'll be going to statements on
A start time.
Yeah.
You want to stick with 5:30 or?
Just a little early, I can bump it up.
Up to the council.
Right. Five, good with me. Okay.
April 30th at 5 o'clock, correct?
You better remind me.
Yeah, and when they start that project, but also that's simultaneously, they're gonna pretty much right after, in the middle of that, they're gonna, I don't know if they mentioned they're gonna do a meter change and a line, using the same, those, both the towers we put up, really, I think need to. At that time, not gonna be installed a program. They'll take about, just like they said, about 3 months for us to do that.
No, I'm excited, and I think they want to start that project really quickly too.
Oh, yeah.
So long overdue.
Mom, it's been talked about for a long time.
Need more middle water, does it? This city of Caldwell.
That's all I have.
All I have is, early voting starts on Monday, and we'll go through the 30th.
For student. Your turn.
Has the Harvey mitigation on for the Echo Street, is that, Cleft Street, has that been
We have
bid
not,
out?
we have not gone to bid yet on
Okay,
that.
okay.
We'll reach back out to Strand and see where they're at.
Okay. Status of the new city website.
It's live and working great. I just rescheduled the workshop.
Okay, great.
Just say real quick on that while you, I don't not take that, but
No,
after I heard that Donnie Cook's our guy at Lions Club, I told him the next day. He went in and put all the meetings in there. It was that easy. So it's really, whatever it is, it's good. So.
and, last meeting you said, building code amendments, you would have an update on?
Yes, I did meet with them about 2 Fridays ago, and they said that they are working on gathering all of the building code amendments that we've been sending them throughout the past few months. And they are hoping that they will get started on a draft ordinance in the next month or two, and then bring that forward.
Okay.
So sometime in the summer.
Citywide striping project.
That is scheduled for most of May. We can send out the schedule when they're doing each location.
Charles, what about the vandalism that were caught of juveniles in the park?
Well, as far as I know, that
officer met with the judge last week at some point, and they're trying to decide whether they want to charge him.
Okay.
Charge him for juvenile probation. For that municipal court.
But at least we did catch him. But now then, did you ever find the bench that was?
Yes, sir, we did. It was in the back pond. In the pond.
Well, at least we recovered it. Did you happen to find a disc golf cage in the back pond?
I don't need it's not there.
Okay. And the restroom doors have been fixed, so they can't crawl under it anymore once if they are locked. Okay. That's it.
I think I contacted the chief. I don't know, not to put you on the spot, but he's had time, but just to look into squatter laws for our community, trying to be proactive. I had so the gentleman who bought my house, they're from Austin, moved from Austin to here. He does a lot of work in Austin, and he's saying it's happening there. So just trying to be proactive. If there's something we can put in force as far as an ordinance or something to give police the right to remove them immediately. I don't. Did you find out anything yet?
I did.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. None of that. Everything's good.
I noticed in the permit report, it was someone's living in a box on a piece of property. Did you see that? That they're living in a box on a piece of property. Hang on. It was off of. Not permit, I'm sorry, code enforcement. Okay, at the very bottom of the first page, received a complaint of a female living in a box on the vacant property next to this residence on Walnut Street.
It's not a box. It's like a small working building, but yeah.
Okay. So probably no electricity, just a portable building, they're just, okay. The only thing I have is citizen report. Where are we on that? Still.
I'm thinking we're gonna use something like the website.
Okay.
Make it a little easier for people to realize, since like the submitting the calendar events is
Something like
very simple, we'll do something like that. So I just have to get the website to do that.
Also, Main Street sort of organized a second Saturday thing on this first one held this Saturday. Lots of positive feedback. They really appreciated the covered pavilion. So hoping we can expand on that and get more people to come downtown on Saturday. So that's all I got.
I don't have anything. The brush truck.
Brush truck is still on order, hopefully the next couple of months. We did get our sweeper in, and it's out and about.
I can tell it too.
Same thing with the front end load garbage truck. We're looking hopefully the next few months.
There's some areas take a little longer.
Yeah.
Downtown, sidewalks, concrete.
I'm waiting on another bid, and then hopefully we'll get started in the next week or so.
Some areas are gonna be need to cut out and replace.
There'll be two areas, right in front of the back porch, and then in front of Armstrong properties, and then cut out. In front of Armstrong, you'll go down to the street level, so it'll be an ADA accessible ramp right there, and then there'll be a connection back over to the courthouse, so there'll be two parking spaces that won't use. But it'll help make it a little more accessible.
Yeah, so all of this, that's far in at the bank.
And street sweepers, is there a schedule? Everything goes, or they just,
No, we can put something together. I think whenever we get that brush truck, we're certainly gonna do that. To where, that way you know when that area, they'll be in the area, and, you know, if your brush day is Tuesday, then you don't have your stuff out on Tuesday.
that definitely needs to be looked at. Also, I guess, do we have people on streets, like repaving? Because, I mean, I've been down 2 streets the last couple of days that have rocked me. So I didn't know if we got projects going on.
We don't have any large reconstruction. A lot of the failures that we're seeing is been a result of weather and all kinds of different factors, but we are digging those out and going back and putting base and then coming back with cold mix on top of that. If you see some that we don't see, feel free to send me a list and we'll.
The only one that I've been going down recently is the one right in front of the league field. When we go off 21, you're heading towards the park, the little league fields and then the tennis courts. I keep forgetting about that, right past that stop sign. Yeah,
Okay.
there's something, I don't know what it is. It could be a manhole. I really don't know, but it'll hit you hard. The last thing I was gonna ask is about, we had a speeder on Buck Street. Is that something that we want to discuss coming up? Because from what I've heard, people, it's an everyday ordeal for people, seeing how fast they can get before they get the whistles. They're in a hurry.
I've seen them go pretty fast.
Well, my nephew was down there, I guess it was last week, was the bad one. They almost hit the Auburn building, that tree right beside it. They T-boned it, did like a 90. I'm not T-boned, but it hit square on, and then
He hit a tree, he hit the fence and the tree. We had it.
but
Remember what you have to try.
yeah, he didn't say much. He goes, when he called me, he's like, I'm kidding you not, he was doing 90.
They said it was.
Still, if it was more than.
But there was somebody over there, there was somebody walking the dog, saw it all.
That was him.
That's pretty
That was him.
So is this a problem that happens every evening?
From what I've heard.
No, it happened to me.
From where? From your stop sign down?
Well, most of the time they come over the tracks, and when they get over the tracks.
So it's coming from that direction this way.
Well, no, this one was going the other way.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, generally, they come up over the tracks and then.
Wow, I'm never on Buck Street.
When it happened,
In the morning, Woodson's has a lot of truck traffic, so it's not happening then. It's gonna be around lunchtime. It's not gonna happen in the morning, there's too many trucks.
It's in the evenings, like after 5.
Is it kids or?
This guy was young. I would say in the early 20s maybe.
Old
His
enough to know
girlfriend,
better?
I want to say it's maybe 20.
But they missed the telephone. That guy was, they went in between. Right?
That's all.
Okay, anything else, guys? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
You know what, I could ask, James to monitor that on this. Get him, James.
Go around.
So, they get a buzz. We got it on camera.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of adjourning this meeting, raise your right hand, motion passes, meeting adjourned.
If I can just have you
Picture
all
time.